I have exactly two thoughts after watching episode 7. My first thought is that Vegas stole the whole freaking show this episode. He was the whole moment was him. I could see nobody else other than him. And my second thought? Well, you know what my second thought is. And that second thought is still living in my head while I sleep, eat, work, do my chores. I don't think that second thought will leave my head until I see the pool scene in the next episode. So this is BLFANEDITS and another episode of KinnPorsche is over, which is why I'm back with KinnPorsche episode 7 recap and episode 8 spoilers. As always, let me begin with the recap first and then I will move on to the episode 8 spoilers. We saw some cute and cuddly hospital moments in the side story, so I already knew that we won't have any hospital moments in the episode and that they have skipped that part of the novel. The episode begins with all the bodyguards including Porsche to go undercover in a casino and take care of rival gang leader Don's people in order to control Don's activities, which had increased after getting to know that Kinn was injured. Don wants to take advantage of the situation and establish himself as the leader of the mafia. The casino scene was actually so hilarious, like I can't take these bodyguards seriously at all. No wonder Kinn has to carry his 2 guns with him all the time, because these boys are totally useless. The guy who was carrying a bomb was captured by Vegas and taken to his dungeon. Vegas. Oh my god, Vegas. I couldn't take my eyes off him throughout the episode. He was equal parts terrifying and endearing in this episode. He has this unique charm and charisma that even if he's skinning you alive, you'd still smile and let him skin you with gratitude. Don's man was not cooperating with the interrogation, so Vegas steps up to make him speak up. As we saw, he has his own method of getting information out from someone. As Vegas is brutally pulling the tooth out of that man, no one is able to look at that barbarity happening in front of them, except Pete. Pete is dead-ass looking at Vegas without even blinking. I feel like they're establishing here that Pete is the only one not afraid of Vegas. He might act cute and comedic at times, but he isn't someone who is easily spooked. Also, Pete and Vegas end up living together and Pete becomes a house husband, and they also raise a kid together, so Pete might be thinking, what the hell is up with my baby daddy? Why is he acting like an absolute maniac? The main family and the second family have come up with a plan to take Don down for good, but for that Vegas will need Porsche by his side. Concon allows Porsche to be Vegas's man for this project. Kinn as usual is not happy to hear this news. Kinn and Porsche have a heart-to-heart and Porsche promises him that he will go back to Kinn after completing the mission. But Kinn is not a pushover, as much as Vegas might like to think that he is. Kinn makes sure to send Arm and Pete along with Porsche so that at no point are Vegas and Porsche alone together. And also Pete is informing Kinn about every single thing that's happening with Vegas. We now get to see the house of the second family and how they treat their men. As I said before, the difference between the main family and the minor family is crystal clear here. The main family treats their work as a proper business and it shows why they are on top of the mafia world, while the minor family looks like just a bunch of thugs and gangsters who are just vandals and troublemakers without any proper business sense. Vegas shows them around the house and they all eat together with other bodyguards. Porsche is thinking that Vegas and his family are really down to earth, treating their bodyguards like family, eating and drinking with them. I think Vegas is trying to gain Porsche's respect and trust here by showing how much he cares about his bodyguards so that Porsche leaves Kinn and goes to work for him. Also, this scene where Cutie Pie Pete was being stared down by that scary bodyguard was hilarious. Little does Pete know that he would have to live here with these scary looking men. Then we have this cute little Kim and Porsche segment, where Kim visits Porsche's house unannounced in order to snoop around and find more information about Porsche. Their storyline is such a much needed antidote to the intense KinnPorsche storyline. I feel a lot calmer watching them on screen together, while when Kinn and Porsche are on screen together, my stomach and my head are always doing backflips and somersaults. Kim easily manipulates Che to go and get some noodles for him while he snoops around the house. But what he finds is absolutely adorable. He finds out that Che has a shrine of him in his room and he has a crush on him. This melts Kim's heart and he sees Che in a different light. Kim finds Che absolutely adorable in that moment and asks him to write a love song. At this point onwards, Kim and Che's love story has officially begun. KinnPorsche's devious brain has already figured out that Kinn is not just sleeping with Porsche but he's actually falling in love with him. KinnPorsche advises, or rather warns Kinn to not let his feelings grow any further if he wants to succeed and take over his father's business. Then we see Vegas's younger brother Macau go to Porsche and apologize to him for getting him in trouble the first time he met him. Porsche is kind of surprised at hearing young master's apology towards him, but it's all part of Vegas's plan to get Porsche to like him and take him away from Kinn. Vegas also promised that he would give Porsche the bike he likes if their mission is successful. Porsche goes to meet Kinn at the hospital. Kinn is recovering rather quickly, but he's not happy with the way things are going between Porsche and Vegas. Kinn gets sarcastic with Porsche, trying to ask him if he has started enjoying staying over at minor family's house. Porsche was having none of it as he decides to confront Kinn and ask him flat out if he was jealous of Vegas. Porsche here already knows that Kinn is extremely jealous and possessive over him, and he's trying to tease Kinn even more by praising Vegas in front of him. Things get even worse when Vegas enters the room and takes Porsche away from Kinn. Vegas also tells Porsche that Kinn shot his ex-boyfriend Tavan because he was distrustful of him and thought that he was a spy sent by enemies to collect information about him. I was quite shocked to hear this piece of information, and I'm not sure if Vegas was lying or if it's really true, because in the novel the reason why Kinn and Tavan break up is because Tavan repeatedly kept having affairs and cheated on Kinn multiple times. After they broke up, Tavan went to the States, but in the drama they're showing that he's dead and was killed because he was supposedly spying on Kinn. I think we will only find out the truth in the next episode. Kinn's friends They and Time talk to him about his relationship with Porsche. They urge him to listen to his heart and not care about anything else. It's okay to let your heart fly. Your past relationship should not come in between your current happiness. Back to the mission at hand. Vegas and his men capture the guy who was trying to make a deal with Dawn and take him in for questioning. The way Vegas puts him in a cage next to a rotten dead body gave me literal chills. This man is literally a cold-blooded psychopath, and that makes him even hotter to me. Yes, I have massive issues. Let me call my therapist. Oh wait, I don't have a therapist because my therapy is watching BL dramas. So let me take a break here and watch New Year's Up to remove these dreadful thoughts from my head. We see another little progress between Pete and Vegas here. Pete is sending all the information to Kinn when suddenly Vegas catches him in the act once again. He's calmly standing next to Pete while he's texting Kinn about everything that's going on in the house. Pete is shocked to see Vegas standing next to him and comes up with an excuse that he couldn't find his room. Vegas grabs him by his shoulder and takes him back to his room. My heart literally jumps up whenever I see these two interact with each other. Porsche is not able to sleep without Kinn as usual, so he decides to give him a call. He's dispirited and upset by Kinn's cold demeanor on the phone when suddenly Kinn appears beside him. Porsche acts all cool, but he's super happy to see Kinn. Kinn gives him his lucky gun that he always carries around and wishes him well for a successful mission. This is the moment where you are all weepy and teary-eyed looking at Kinn emotionally asking Porsche to return safely to him. But, this is also the moment where your jaw will drop below your lady parts as Kinn asks Porsche to take a feel of another gun that he keeps with him. Slap me in the face and punch me in the gut because I cannot handle the naughtiness between these two. Please lovelies, you guys have to dump me in some canal of Hobie water or something because I'm completely ruined. I can't with these two, I absolutely can't. Also now whenever I will eat a bar of Magnum ice cream, I will think of that, which I definitely shouldn't think of, and it has ruined Magnum for me. Or made it even better. Who knows? Only God knows. In all that naughtiness, don't forget the tender moment they shared afterwards. No words needed, just Kinn's eyes talking to Porsche's eyes to come back home safely. I gotta say, Jeff's velvety voice in the background just makes this whole moment so much more emotional and beautiful. The next day is the day of the mission, where Vegas and Porsche have to take down rival gang leader Dawn. I loved the fight sequence. It was very cinematic, like watching a Hollywood action movie. But the best part was Vegas lying on top of Porsche for a few seconds and making eye contact with him. Vegas is so effing relentless in his pursuit of Porsche that he's even taking his chance at the battlefield. Somebody said that this is the only time that Vegas will ever TOP Porsche, and I found it extremely hilarious because it was true. Vegas and the team successfully completed the mission, and now it's time for a celebration. Everyone is having drinks and dancing. Porsche is also enjoying with his friends Pete and Arm when Vegas comes in to interrupt them. Pete is giving all this info to Kinn on the phone and telling him how Porsche is talking to his hubby and how their husbands are now holding hands. Kinn is obviously irked listening to this and hangs up on Pete. Hot psycho killer Vegas spills his drink on Porsche on purpose and takes him to the bathroom to supposedly clean him up. Porsche is pretty drunk at this point and lets Vegas take him to the bathroom. Vegas removes Porsche's shirt to clean him up and takes his chance to suddenly kiss Porsche. Porsche is stunned by this sudden development and tries to push him away when suddenly Kinn enters the bathroom in violent fury. Kinn points the gun at Vegas and tells him, "Do you see the ring on my finger?" Which means that he's the leader of the major family which controls the minor family, which means Vegas essentially works under Kinn. So Vegas has no choice but to retreat and leave the room to keep peace between the two families. Kinn asks everyone to get the heck out of the bathroom, so it's just Porsche and him in the bathroom. Kinn loves to cage Porsche between his arms just to show how possessive he is of Porsche. Porsche is initially happy and relieved to see Kinn because he thought Kinn has come to save him from Vegas. But what he doesn't realize at first is that Kinn is full of rage because he thought Vegas and him were having a moment in the bathroom. To be fair to Kinn, the way Pete was explaining everything to Kinn on the phone really did sound dodgy, and any normal person would start having doubts, since it's clearly such a new relationship and every new relationship is fragile and vulnerable. It takes time to build trust, and especially after what Kinn went through with his ex Dhawan, it's quite normal for him to behave the way he did. Porsche obviously is innocent here. He has no clue what the heck is Vegas on about, always flirting with him, and on top of that, Kinn's behavior is incomprehensible to him because he doesn't know the background of why Kinn is so jealous and possessive over him. All he sees in front of him is a person who is always so distrustful of him and reprimands him for unfortunately being in the situations that he has no control over. Kinn asks Porsche what he was doing just now. The little slap immediately wakes Porsche up and he sobers up. Porsche says he wasn't doing anything and it's Kinn who is always so distrustful of him. Porsche asks Kinn to shoot him like he shot his ex. This statement vexes Kinn and he's red with anger. Kinn comes close to Porsche and says that, "You are way more loose than I thought." Hearing this, Porsche gives a tight slap to Kinn, which was well deserved because look at the audacity of this person slut-shaming Porsche when he himself has used his fishing rod to kill at least 70% of the fishes in Thailand. Now prepare to cry for a second, but only for a second because afterwards you won't know whether to laugh hysterically or hide your face in your pillow and scream. So just cry here for just a second because Porsche says that he shouldn't have loved a crappy person like Kinn. Ladies and gentlemen, he said loved, L-O-V-E-D. He is in effing love with Kinn. Hearing this, Kinn immediately feels guilt in his heart. He realized he will make a huge mistake if he lets Porsche go now. He can't let him go in anger. So Kinn stops him and uses his lips to apologize to Porsche. Then they engage in a sword fight which lasted just 2 seconds because LOVE. Kinn cries afterwards because he doesn't want to be this person. He wants to be better for Porsche. The thought that his careless, domineering attitude might lead to Porsche leaving him breaks his heart and scares him to death. So he cries. He also cries in relief that he was able to make up with Porsche this time. So this is where the episode ends. Needless to say, episode 7 was another brilliant episode that left me with a feeling of complete satisfaction and anticipation for the next episode. I'm not sure how much they are going to be following the novel this time, but I'm sharing the spoilers for episode 8 because it's always fun to see the difference between the episode and the novel. One thing is for 100% sure that we are getting an NC scene in episode 8 because there are 2-3 elaborate scenes in the novel as well. So be prepared because it's definitely going to be the pool scene. The episode will open up with Kin and Porsche being all flirty with each other, and they won't be able to stay away from each other even for a second. Like typical newlyweds, they would be all over each other. They'd go on dates and get to know each other better. Kin and Porsche go to a Japanese restaurant. They were eating happily when Uni Sushi arrived at their table. Kin says he didn't order this sushi, but the waiter said that someone ordered it for them. Kin's mood worsened and he wanted to get the hell out of there. But Porsche had never tried Uni Sushi before and he wanted to eat it. Porsche ate the sushi and kept harping about how good it was. This annoyed Kin even more because Uni Sushi was Tavan's favorite dish and someone was trying to mess with Kin by ordering that dish on his table. That night, although Kin was in a bad mood, he recovered by playing with Porsche's soft toys. They both had to go to the hospital the next day to get tested because when players play without protective gloves on, there is always a risk of injury. Porsche wanted to eat the Uni Sushi again, so they go to the same Japanese restaurant. There, on a customer board, Porsche finds a photo of Kin along with Meg and Tavan. Porsche takes the photo with him. Porsche asks Pete about Tavan and Pete tells him that Tavan is Kin's ex-boyfriend. Apparently in the preview it was shown that Porsche saw Tavan in person, so Tavan will keep bothering him, and then Kin's friends will also mention that Marsh has starred in another TV drama and he looks hot and sexy as usual. The mention of Marsh will annoy Porsche even more and his mood will go from bad to worse. Kin finds it really cute that Porsche is jealous of Marsh, but Porsche is in no mood for his jokes. Porsche is still annoyed at Kin when Kin's friends drag Porsche and Kin to the bar. Porsche is all sulky at this point and keeps thinking about Marsh and Tavan. Porsche and his friends along with Kin and his friends play a game of Never Have I Ever where things get quite heated up. Porsche is completely annoyed at this point and goes outside for a smoke. Kin follows him and tries to chat sweetly with him. He says cutely that he's jealous that all the girls in the bar are eyeing Porsche and smiling at him. Porsche is not happy at this point and says, "Why do you care? You already have Marsh." Kin fell silent at first but then smiled and reassured Porsche sweetly by kissing him. Kin takes drunk Porsche home. Porsche is acting all baby-like here and wants Kin to comfort him by singing for him. Kin sings for him and then they spend another night playing video games. The next morning is when all the poop will hit the fan and spread everywhere because Tavan is back. Porsche is in Kin's room looking for some documents that Kin has asked him to bring, when he opens a drawer of his office and finds an old phone. When he switched the phone on, he finds Kin and Tavan's pictures, videos and text messages together. Porsche's heart sank and it becomes hard for him to compose himself. Kin saw Porsche looking at the phone. He snatches the phone from him and keeps it back in the cupboard. He asks Porsche to not touch his things. That night, Kin goes to a gathering where all his old friends, including Meg, were invited. They were all sitting and chatting when suddenly Meg's older brother Tavan, who is also Kin's ex, comes in. Kin is shocked to see him and immediately leaves the room. Tavan runs after him and tries to stop him, but Kin shrugs him off and leaves the gathering. When Kin reaches home, Porsche is there to greet him. Kin at this moment is completely shocked and doesn't know how to behave with Porsche. He has all these unresolved feelings that have resurfaced and he has no idea how to face Porsche right now because he's totally confused and is questioning his emotions right now. I think this is where episode 8 ends. We might get to see some more development between Pete and Vegas, but Pete will be captured by Vegas the same night. Tavan's truth and his motives for coming back are revealed to everyone. So I think we still have an episode or two left before we see the beginning of Pete and Vegas's relationship. So that's everything I have for today's KinnPorsche spoiler and recap video. As always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more BL rankings, gossip and news videos. I'm also doing KinnPorsche recap and spoiler series, so please subscribe if you want to continue watching this series. See you all soon. Bye.